What would you do if you were unable to visit your loved one in the hospital? What would you do if you were faced with the possibility of losing your home because your loved one died and you were unable to prove ownership? What would you do if after 30 years together you still had to check single on every piece of paperwork you filled out? What would you do if you were faced with the possibility of losing your children because your spouse died and the children were not biologically yours, even though you raised them most of their lives? These are just a fraction of the challenges faced by same-sex couples who are not permitted to marry in places throughout our nation and the world. Imagine anticipating a much-needed vacation with your family, maybe to a tropical locale or a cross-country adventure. A relaxing cruise is what lesbian couple Janice and Lisa and their 3 children had in mind when they arrived in Miami to board the boat. 30 minutes after boarding, tragedy struck and Janice's partner, Lisa, fell ill and was transported to a nearby Miami hospital. After her family and children arrived at the hospital, they were informed by a neurosurgeon that Lisa had suffered a massive brain aneurysm and was in very critical condition. After that, she asked to be rushed to the bedside of her ill partner and was denied. After begging doctors, nurses, and social workers in the hospital, the only response that she received is that you are in an anti-gay state and you cannot visit your loved one in the hospital. This response meant that she nor her children could see her life partner during this time of tragedy. And over 3 hours later, doctors returned with the news that her loved one had died alone. Because of the laws of the state, she was forced to die alone rather than with her loving partner at her bedside, who she had known for many years. Extending the right to marriage to couples like Julie and Lisa can prevent situations like this, because immediately when couples are married, they're afforded 1,138 federal benefits, not to mention the ones offered by individual states. There are also many financial and practical benefits that are offered to couples who are married. Every couple, whether same-sex or opposite sex, should be allowed the right to marry and share protection under the same laws. Some of the financial protections offered by marriage to couples include financial equality in the workplace. When thinking about fringe benefits and employer-paid insurance premiums, same-sex couples actually make less because they're not able to include their partners on their insurance policies, which are paid by their employer and things like this. Also, for same-sex couples who are not allowed to marry, when one partner dies, the remaining partner has to prove ownership of the home and every item in the home, or face losing it to the partner's family. Marriage would also offer benefits for a person who already owns a home and later decides to make a commitment to their partner. Because as of right now, if someone already owns a home and they decide to gift part of their home to their partner so that they can have equal shares in a home that they share together, if one partner has credit issues and credit problems, they can actually both be forced to lose the house. Whereas a heterosexual married couple, the other spouse's interest would protect their home and they would not be kicked out of their home. If same-sex couple, in addition to the financial protection that marriage offers, there are also more practical reasons that same-sex marriages should be allowed. For same-sex couples, being able to marry will alleviate many of the concerns that the LGBT community faces without the protections of marriage. Without being legally married in times of crisis, same-sex partners do not have rights to make legal and medical decisions for their partners who may be incapacitated. Also, if Lisa and Janice were allowed to be married, they would have not had to encounter the situation that they did because the remaining alert partner would have had the medical and legal rights to make the decisions that needed to be made. Also, many employers do not offer access to health insurance, pension, or bereavement leave for couples who are not married. And for couples with children, if one person dies, the children may be taken away from the partner and from the parent that they've known their whole life just because it's not their biological parent. In conclusion, in our nation and across the world, many couples consist of same-sex partners. The movement for marriage equality of same-sex couples is actually recognition of the importance and power of marriage. Allowing same-sex couples the right to make a lifetime commitment to each other takes nothing away from the marriages of anyone else. In order to protect their children, finances, and health in times of catastrophe, same-sex couples need access to the institution of marriage. Striving for the equality of all our citizens is what this nation has been built on, and we should not stop now. All members of our society should have equal rights and be able to exercise the right to marriage equally.
6 minutes and 37 seconds.